Thank you for joining Hawaii Wellness Network, and we have a very special guest, and we're very excited about the new book coming out, 2013, Messages of Peace from Hawaii. And we have 100 amazing offers, but we have one of the most amazing today. Because I've known you, Sundae, for many, many years, so I'm so excited that we sent the email out to a lot of people, and you responded and was inspired to write something. Thanks for participating.
I want to thank you, Lori, to have the opportunity to participate, to do such a wonderful thing, to bring a good message to everyone. This is something that I've spent my whole life focusing on. It's my passion to give people insight and a larger picture than what they normally get. A lot of people think planet Earth. Some people think solar system. Very few people think galactic.
Wow, that's a nice word. You don't hear that very often.
I think galactic. And
wow.
If you haven't seen what our galaxy looks like, this is the Milky Way galaxy. And what's wonderful about it, in the center is the birthing place of new consciousness. This is the birthing of stars, and then subsequently planets. And this is the place that is the most divine part of our galaxy in terms of creating. Well, if you take this and put it on its side, it looks like this. We see the Milky Way galaxy from Earth like this. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's happening here and now, because this is a very, very special time, and I want everybody to really understand that we are living in an amazing, amazing time. And what's happening is we are coming into alignment, and we have since December 21st, 2012, with Galactic Center. That's the area of the most light and the most consciousness. And what's exciting about it is that our solar system, every single planet in it, is getting more juice from Galactic Center. That means, on one hand, we're all getting more consciousness. On the other hand, some of us may be getting some very challenging lessons. Now, I've been watching the stars for years. My mother was an astrologer and a psychic, and I kind of grew up with left brain scientific, pre-med, go to college. And finally, my senior year, I go, wait a minute, I don't want to be a doctor. I want something that has to do with healing arts. So I took a degree in biological sciences and physical education. And later on, I hit a series of car accidents, and I was laid up in bed, and I said, okay, Mom, now tell me, why is this happening to me? I'm finally listening, right? And she says, you'll have to research it yourself. That was my mother. Look it up.
Wow.
So I was laying in bed. I had nothing better to do. And for 17 hours a day, I studied about the stars and their relationships. And I started observing and reporting like a scientist for like 2 years. I look at the aspect, I write down how I felt, and then I look to see what the definition of it was. And I found, wow, we really came with a guidebook. There's something really amazing. So when we come in at a certain place on the Earth, a certain longitude and latitude, all the planets and the moon describe our essence. It describes our soul work. And I'm really, really excited about the soul work, because most people, well, if they get to soul work this lifetime, they gotta be pretty special. Those patterns that you see with the planets in the sky actually describe what your personality may be, what your imbalances are, what your karmic patterns are, your talents, your abilities. It tells you all of that. And if you really want to know self, and some of us really want to know self, this is going to give you the best picture of yourself and your wonderfulness and your challenges.
And you plan these before you come down, because that's what you want to accomplish in learning.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's like a movie. You write a script for it.
And
So we pick our parents well.
we do.
Yeah.
You're so right, because even though sometimes we wish we hadn't.
Or maybe I was in a hurry. Can I opt out of this?
Well, they have the exact pattern that we need to use to learn and grow. Many times I'll see in the parents' charts the exact same thing as the children's and their children's. And the truth is, karmic patterns are like passed on unless one in the lineage decides, nope, the pattern ends right here. We're not going to do this again. So basically, I started out writing the book Divine Reason and Rhyme. Now, this book was basically requested by my students because they wanted to know how I did it and how I found the order in the universe. There is order between numbers, colors, emotions, polarity charge, musical sounds, planets, signs of the zodiac, body parts. There's an order to it. And I have a chart that goes along with that. I didn't bring that today. But you can see it at Sedona. And it has all of that mapped out. And it has a higher message and a lower message, the challenging one. So if you're doing really well, you'll read the highest one and you'll go, wow, what a validation. If you're having some challenges, you'll notice you resonate a little bit more with the challenging message.
Right. I think we all know which theme. What is it? Family or relationships or career or health or finances? Those are a lot of the life themes that you either have challenges or we all know which ones.
Or ego control games or blocked creativity, all sorts of wonderful things to rise above.
Yes.
So I had written the Divine Reason and Rhyme book so that other people could learn how to do it for themselves. So if they have a dream and they see a color or there's a repeating number or something, they can look it up in the book. And then each time you look it up, it kind of like logs into your brain. And pretty soon you start seeing connections and you start reading for yourself and you get good at it. Now, not everybody has an affinity, but those that do will get well.
And what does that mean, have an affinity?
Affinity for connecting, how things connect, okay? Colors, numbers, all of these things have a connection. If you understand the connection, then you can read for yourself very well. So, meanwhile, because I read these patterns, I see what everybody's personal karmic challenge is, or challenges if you have more than one. And I felt it wasn't enough just to point it out to you. It was more important to say, hey, we can heal this. So I was working with Dr. Joseph Murphy, who was my mentor with utilizing the power of the subconscious mind. So in his book, he talks about how important the subconscious mind is. What he doesn't talk about is reprogramming, because many people, say affirmations over and over. We've all done it, right? And it may work a little bit or not at all. And we're wondering, well, I thought affirmations were the way. Why am I still repeating this unconscious behavior? Well, it's logged in here. So what I have put together is a program called Mind-Heart Harmony, where we do about 3 regressions, and we get how the mind has logged in the thoughts, how the heart has logged in the emotions in the subconscious mind. And we develop a script in their own voice. We record it. I Sunday give myself permission to let go of feelings of, for me it was sadness when such and such happened, or anger and frustration. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I used to kick walls. I would get so angry.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very, very different.
I can't imagine. I'm so happy. I've known you for 10 years, and I don't think I've ever heard you or seen that side of you, or
Precisely.
even a little tad of that.
that's exactly the the freedom that comes when you reprogram your subconscious mind. You're no longer tied to these behaviors that get in, get us in trouble in relationships or with our success in life. So to be totally different, I'm a yoga instructor and I'm breathing out the peace and taking it in and spreading it around instead of kicking walls.
Right. So you're worked with your all your techniques.
Exactly, and you wouldn't have known me. You wouldn't have recognized me. It was that different.
And that's been many years you've been
yes,
working on
many.
Yeah.
Let us not count the years.
And do you teach classes and workshops and books and
exactly.
work with you with readings? We've had things.
Right, and I also have a yoga show, an award-winning yoga show on Olelo. It's called Get Healthy Yoga, and I have about 20 shows that I run over and over. And that was my community service. For those of you who don't belong to a gym or a yoga studio, you can flip on your television to Olelo and do yoga in nature, learn how to get mind-heart harmony, and I've got beautiful nature scenes.
And what night and time is that?
Well, we're not on a regular schedule because I'm not producing more TV
so
shows.
You can go to the Olelo website.
Right, exactly. So that's my gift to you, free yoga.
Wow. And then you're also at Sedona, so you can get a reading.
You can come into Sedona, or if you want it even more private, give me a call at 262-4404, and I'll do a reading either on the phone or in person. It doesn't matter because I can pick up the energy through the phone lines. Your voice speaks much of what's going on. I can hear it in your voice. Because there's an ultrasonic core current that comes down through the vocal cords all the way to the base and back up again, I can tell your level of harmony just by your voice. It tells me when you're under stress. It tells me when you're holding, or so many different things.
And you might not even know what you're doing. And what was nice when we did a reading, you actually said, okay, in the next 3 months, based on the astrology and what we've talked about, or the next 6 months, here's some possibilities. So
right,
really
I do like to do that, Lori. I like to say these are the possibilities because you are your own driving force.
And we have free will, of course. So
that's exactly what I mean. Free will is so important. Now it's harder when your unconscious mind is playing back that old pattern and you're reacting unconsciously. Yet when you get that under control, you are so free. And people don't really know freedom until they lose their patterns. And then it's like the whole world opens up to you because you're no longer someone inhibited. You're somebody complete and whole and actualized.
And things start flowing, and they just happen.
They do.
Exactly. That's fun. I've had those years where it's like you have a challenge and you're not even through that challenge and another one comes and it's like an entire year and you're just exhausted. And then you get through that and figure it out and then everything's flowing for a year or two.
Well,
it's nice.
This is very nice if it happens that way. Sometimes it does. You have a year, like Uranus is a cycle of 1 year on and off. And then you might have some really nice, easy cycles. Yet that doesn't always happen. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't get a break. And we have one challenging cycle right after another. And some of us think, oh my God, is this the way my life is going to be?
Forever.
And I have known people who have, they haven't talked to me, but they actually thought about committing suicide because it was so challenging and they thought it was never going to get better. So I would have told them, hey, wait a minute, you just got to wait this out, you got to learn the lessons, be patient, because all right, it's in 3 years, but all of a sudden the sun's going to be shining so brightly and you're going to love your life again.
Right, and you give hope. And it was kind of nice when we did that reading, because I knew some possibilities, and this is the challenge, and also giving some type of reason for it. Like, this is, the age and why you're going through this at this time. So it's like, I can take a deep breath. It's not just my imagination.
Yes, there are
there's
age-related ones, very much so. And when you go through that change of life, the 42s.
Yeah, yes,
So,
I just went through that.
yes, exactly. So you have 3 major cycles that hit at that time. Pluto, square Pluto, where you have to let go of a lot of stuff. You've got to transform yourself. Then you have Neptune, square Neptune, where you've got to get on track with your heart's desire, why you came in here, what your area of service is. And then Uranus, opposite Uranus, and you're likely to move. I moved to Hawaii during my 42.
And then I hit that time in 2012 with all the challenges
Yes,
and everybody
yes.
else, and I'm like, boy, that was a little crazy.
And it's more intense now. That's the thing that I want you to remember, because we're getting so much energy. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about that, if I could.
Sure. And this is all fascinating. I'm sure that you're very glad that 2012 is over, because I think everybody has in their head and the questions of what was coming up and a little bit of the anxiety. So now we're in 2013. It seems like people are through that still.
Well,
Quite
that's
nice
a
for you.
very good point. I've been studying the 2012 alignment since 2007. And in those 5 years, I've read so many books and studied so many things. And what I think that's important for everybody to know is that sometimes these things are amped up way too much, when what really needed to be communicated was the shift in consciousness. Yes, it's always good to be prepared, and I'm going to talk a little bit about preparedness, because everybody thinks, okay, 2012, it came and went.
And we're okay.
And we're okay, and yes. Well, the truth of the matter is, what's happening on planet Earth, I want to make this really clear. Since 2007, when this all started, the planet Pluto made a hard angle to the planet Uranus. Now this is going to continue to 2020. The important thing to remember is, with Uranus, you get extreme weather. Okay? That's what we've been getting. A lot of extreme weather. With Uranus, you also get shaking, earthquakes. So you also get high levels of stress. People are just kind of like bouncing off the walls. There's not a center. Take a deep breath of time. They're not even sleeping. That's how intense it can be. Now the Pluto part of it, it's like all the dark stuff comes up to be healed. It's kind of volcanic, Pluto is. Anything that is down there in the cauldron, smoldering, can and will come up. And in the economic, social, and financial areas, government areas, this is just what's happening. All of the darkness is coming up. People are starting to become more aware. Hey, maybe I ought to research this. There's some interesting YouTube shows to look. Project Camelot, they do a lot of interviews with whistleblowers. So people can start waking up. Hey, there's a lot going on here that you need to know. This is a time too where we may be more and more aware of our ET brothers and sisters. Now one of my friends who is not really up on this really teased me about that. She goes, I'm really having trouble with that. Well, of course, we're programmed to believe that that's not happening. So there's so much programming that we're attempting to get rid of. So anyway, we've got these wild fluctuations in, government and social unrest, and, people are not believing what the government's telling them anymore. They're starting to look
Because it
deeper.
just doesn't feel right inside.
Good point.
So they're trusting their intuition.
More and more people are starting to wake up to their intuition. Good point.
Because your parents' generation was, taught to trust the doctor and the experts in your life, and don't question it. That's disrespectful.
Exactly. And
different now.
it's sad because there were like 180,000 deaths due to doctor error. in this last year. 180,000. It's a lot. So back to Uranus and Pluto. Now, every time they touch in this hard angle, it wakes us up a little bit more. So we've got a couple more to go. So we had in June and September of 2012. Then in 2013, there's going to be 2.
So there's actual dates where they touch.
Exactly. We call it
Not really
exact.
dates. Okay.
Okay? The relationship is an exact 90-degree angle. Now there's soft angles, trines are soft, and they bring harmony. Remember back in the 60s? Peace, love, and harmony. Okay, everybody's having free love. That was a softer angle. Now it's a hard angle. It's
And
like,
this happens
wake
for
up.
like 24 hours?
No.
Or it's longer?
Actually, it's a longer, it's a 1 degree orb. So it's, here it is at 1 degree away from the planet angle, okay? Then it goes exact, and then it kind of retrogrades back, still within a 1 degree orb. So it may be several months. And then it comes back again and touches it again because of the perceived retrograde motion. So we've got 2 dates that it goes exact in 2013. We've got 2 dates in 2014. And then 1 date in 2015. So we're just at the beginning.
Something triggered me. Boy, we have little cups of water. Something is inside of me.
Well, there is.
That came up on that.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely more opportunities for growth.
Wait, we'll continue.
Okay, I sure will. So just so that you're prepared, if you're noticing in your life a lot of stress and difficulty sleeping, or if you're noticing your need to control because you're feeling insecure, jealousy, possessiveness, if your sense of self is missing, these are indicators that you're getting this hard angle in your own life, which means that this is something that is being brought to the light in order for you to heal it. Now you can look at it as a problem, or you can look at it as an opportunity. Oh yay, I get to heal some karma.
Obviously, yeah, something came up and triggered that.
Well, did you want to close your eyes and take a deeper look?
Sure. You want to
Sure.
Okay.
So just kind of close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and exhale, open your mouth, say, now look to see what communications may not have happened that need to happen in your life. Is anything coming up for you?
That's very interesting.
Okay.
So that's what triggered that.
Exactly.
Something that wasn't coming out and triggered.
Exactly.
So I've never had that happen before. And now I'm perfectly fine.
The throat, and I talk
Very
about this
interesting.
in
Wow.
the Divine Reason of Mind book. The throat is all about either creative expression through your acting, your singing, or it's about communications, what you haven't communicated. Have you spoken your truth to someone? What have you held back? And when these alignments trigger, if it touches your chart in that personal way, then there may be certain things that you still need to communicate about.
But something you even said subconsciously created that. Like, that was just very
Exactly.
interesting.
And that's
Wow.
how it works. I love that Lori said this because so many times that happens, and I'm very empathic, so many times when I get somebody who's real stoic, I'll start coughing and I'll feel different body parts and I'll say, are you having any challenges with this or this? Because I'm feeling it in my body. Somebody who's more in touch with their body, I don't have to feel it. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to do it. So that's what this time's all about. It's not, going, oh my gosh, we're on a TV show and I'm having this coughing fit. How horrible. It's like, what does this mean?
Exactly.
That was just very fascinating.
And I love that you get that, because the whole idea is that everything reflects back to us. In this book, Access Higher Guidance and Nature's Wisdom, even when you go hiking and you see certain animals or insects or birds or colors, it all has meaning. And if you take the time to discover that meaning, you discover yourself more, you discover your process more.
So after the show, it's like, I better call my mom. Who do I need to call? We got to clear this up so we don't, keep on creating that karma or whatever.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
The last thing that I have, unless you have more, is that I wanted to give you the dates again. May 20th, 2013, and November 1st, 2013. April 21st, 2014, December 15th, 2014. The last one, March 17th, 2015. Then we are over the maximum, what I would say, shaking of the test tube. Okay? So we've got all these particles, nutrients, substrates going on every single level, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, worldwide. We're in this little petri dish growing in different ways than we ever have before. Then things start to smooth out, and then they'll lessen and lessen and lessen, and then they'll be gone. Meanwhile, our consciousness is going to keep going up, 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 up. And you'll just see more people, more aware, not repeating robotically what they hear on TV news, but exploring things more deep, opening their minds and their hearts to new wisdom, new experiences, their own intuition, feeling that divine spirit inside themselves instead of thinking it's somewhere else.
So we have a couple more years. And this is necessary to get us ready for that.
Exactly.
Because if that happened now, we wouldn't be ready. So it's almost like going to the gym. It's going to be a little interesting and some fun experiences in the next couple of years, but then...
Yeah, when you first start training, all those muscles hurt. It's kind of like giving birth.
Right, and you get on the equipment and you can't figure it out.
Exactly. You're learning new things, you're exercising new muscles, and I like to liken it to a birth, because at the end, when you actually birth the new baby, which is your new consciousness, you've got something to love and adore.
And have all the memories.
Exactly.
And I guess having a sense of humor for everything, like just what happened.
Like you do.
Being easy on yourself, and if you don't feel like doing something or things change, all of a sudden you're just laughing about it and go with the flow.
Exactly. When you take it so seriously to heart, instead of the observer, and really stepping outside of the personality self and saying, whoa, well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, this is a first on the show. I've never had that happen before.
Well, good job with that. Wow.
And how does someone get in touch with you if they'd like to get your book or have a reading or just had some questions?
All right. There's a couple ways you can get me. I'm in the phone book under AAA Shakti Mystical Readers, 262-4404. Or you can email me at AAA Shakti, that's SHAKTI @MSN.com. Or if you live Honolulu side and you want to come and see me at Sedona, or you want to turn on your television set and watch our yoga show.
And you're going to be in our new book.
That's right. I'm in the book.
We got so interested in talking about everything that you're going to have one page out of the 100 authors, and it's just amazing. When we started that project, and everybody was talking about peace, and it kind of guided us to the title. So we're very excited.
Well, I'm delighted that you even thought to create something like that. And imagine how much positivity is going on about this shift, this consciousness. Like I said in mine, I started mine out with, take a deep breath, because this is a ride. And we can really enjoy the ride. We can move through our stuff. Sometimes we need help and guidance. Sometimes we need to do a little reprogramming. And, that's the work. There is work to be done. Obviously, we didn't come to this planet just to see how many toys we could accumulate.
Right. And we're learning that the hard way, aren't we, right now?
Indeed, because
we got off track.
Exactly, and with the economy the way it is, people have less toys now. They may even have to interact, although I have to say that it saddens me sometimes that our young folks are not learning to communicate well together. They're not learning those skills. I get a lot of calls for readings from people from in their 20s to their 40s who are all texting. And they're texting off the top of their head from their reactive subconscious mind. And they're not speaking to somebody in a loving, positive way. When somebody's in front of you, you're not going to say, "How could you say that?" If you have enough time, you're going to look at them and you say, "Oh, there's another being in front of me. I've got to honor this person, I felt uncomfortable when you said or did that." It's a totally different communication.
Empathy.
Exactly. You're sharing your vulnerability and your feelings, and you're honoring the person. You're not saying, "You did this and you made me wrong. I made you wrong," or however that goes.
Right. Whoever's responsible for that.
That's right. Instead of taking responsibility, making the other person wrong is to blame. And that's another part of what's leaving, what's not happening, what we are transcending from. So we're getting the big wake-up call.
And luckily, we have so many amazing people in the community, like yourself, that can, when people are getting stuck and get back and learn some tools to figure things out. The young generation has hope.
They do, and even so, they have more than what they've even realized, because they came in more and more towards this shift. And so they have reserves of consciousness that when they get but utilize the electronics tools in a different way, they'll start accessing their own intuitive selves much better. I think that there is possibly a way to stunt one's spiritual growth is to stay focused on electronics. They're tools. Use them well, but don't plan your whole life with your tool in your hand.
So that's your special message of the day.
Exactly. Access the heart. Listen to that beautiful, intuitive self. The wisdom of the heart is so amazing. The heart has more electrical energy around it than the brain. It is that amazing. When you close your eyes, you shut off that conscious mind, you access the heart, and you can feel what's the right choice, what's the wrong choice. If you don't do that, you have to call me to find out.
And you're great at teaching people so they can do it.
And that's what I want to do. I want to empower you. I don't want people calling me all the time. Unless, they have a business investment, they want to have the right timing for it, or they have a competition, and they want to have good timing. They're going to Vegas. There are times to find good timing. But when it comes to understanding yourself, your self-growth, I want each of us to understand ourselves more and more, so that we're so deeply intimate with ourselves and so authentic and so able to see ourselves and make better choices.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing this great information.
Thank you.
And I am excited to share the next 2.5 years with you. And we'll have lots of fun stories and memories.
All right, Laura.
Thank you for coming on. Bye.